Hello, this is Daniel Hill, and this is the Chapter 5 assignment, the Decking Cost Calculator. Um, this one was working with some um, conditional statements, some if-else, and did some more calculations with variables. We have a text input here. We have a group box, that's a new element we're learning to use with these radio buttons. Basically, it makes it to where only one of these radio buttons can be selected. We have a label here that changes. Didn't mean to click that. Um, it changes based on our calculations that happen when we click this calculate button here. And we have a clear button here which will clear out text input, reset these, and also set that back to being blank. So let me go ahead and run the program. No errors. As you can see, the cost estimate has been blanked out. This is blank, and it automatically selects the pressure treated lumber. That's because its checked property is set to true, whereas these other ones are still the default false. As you can see, I can only have one of these clicked at a time because they're in this group box. Now let me go ahead and put in an input here. I'll say 400 and calculate on pressure treated lumber. It's gonna be $940. Redwood 3,100. Composite 3,400. Let me change it to 4500. 38,000. 34,000. 10,000. And if I click clear here, it clears this out. Now another thing we had to do is show up an error message if we were to put in a non-numerical value. So say I put high here, I am getting enter the square footage of the decking. Now let me also try a negative number, -1. You entered -1, enter a positive number, and it clears that out. So let me show you exactly how I got it to do that. So here's where we assigned our variables. We have a decimal for the footage. We have a decimal cost per square foot and decimal cost estimate. All of these are left unassigned, and then also we set decimal variables for the cost of each material. And this is where we get into the if statements. So first we tested to see if the input is numeric. If it is, then it converts it from string to decimal. And then it'll move on to see if it is above 0. If it is, it will check the radio button input for the materials, and it will assign the cost per square foot based on the material selected. Uh, After that, it will calculate the cost estimate and it will display it in that label. So it's just multiplication and then assigning that to the text property. Um, However, if it is a negative number, then it'll display this message box. You entered, and it'll pull the input, enter a positive number. Input error is the title of the message, and it'll reset the text to blank, and it'll put focus back on the text input. And then also, going back to this, after all these nested ifs and else ifs, it'll display a error message for a non-numeric input. So we have another message box here into the square footage of the decking like you saw earlier, and it'll also blank out the text input and put the focus on it. Now here's what happens when you click the clear button. I had it set the text input to blank. I had it reset the label of the cost estimate to blank, and it'll automatically check the lumber and uncheck every other option, and then put focus back on the text input. Now when it loads, it'll also make sure that the text input is blank, and it'll make sure the cost estimate is blank, and it'll put focus on the text input. and this does not need to be here. So that's about it. I'll show you one more time. Taking cost calculator. As you can see, blank, blank. Put in 100. Calculate, calculate, calculate. Only one of these can be selected, and if I clear, it blanks it all out. Alright, well, that was everything. Thank you.